So I would like to tell the story about watermelons. More specifically, about why the outfit I've got on right now that I wore to a dinner party tonight, a work party, is watermelon themed. And I'll show off the whole thing at the end of this, so keep watching. Um, but almost, actually, a little bit more than 2 years ago, um, at the theater I work at, we did the show called The Unsinkable Molly Brown. Um, and in that show, at one point, there was a bunch of can dancers, and they wore these dresses that were like um, green and pink dresses. And I was working at a spot op at the time, as I still am. And I mentioned offhandedly that they kind of looked like watermelon colors. Like these girls were, so we ended up calling them the watermelon girls. That were these can dancers because they all had watermelon colors on. And then one of the other spot ops, Kim was her name, and she was quite a firebrand. She was really fun and kind of goofy a lot of the time. And at the time I was still presenting, masculine, and she for some reason kept saying that she wanted to get me into one of those dresses, and I was like, I can't wear a dress. I'm a dude. They don't do dresses, you silly goose. I don't remember if that's exactly what I said, but that was the gist of it. But for some reason, she just like every so often she's like, "We got to get you into one of those watermelon dresses," and I'm like, this one, nah, I'm good. Because I was still in denial about everything. Anyway, so it became kind of this running gag, this watermelon dress gag, and she ended up leaving the company the next year, um, which was 2024, 3. I can't even remember. It was a while ago. But then last year, when everything happened and I started transitioning, one of I've kind of lost contact with her. Like we have mutual friends, but we haven't really talked much recently, or at all recently, I should say. But with our mutual friends, I was like, well, now that I'm, transitioning, I gotta wear like a watermelon dress. And in fact, one of the first things, and I'll put up a picture here. One of the first things I did with the avatar that I made was put them in watermelon colors because it was the watermelon dress. And now that I was presenting feminine, I could, wear the watermelon dress. And it was kind of like it was really nice at the time because my identity was like hit with a sledgehammer, and it was nice to hold on to something from the past that would still be relevant in the future. That was a hard time trying to figure out who I was and who I was going to be and what parts of me from before were going to still be parts of me once transitioning has happened. And I think a lot of that is settled, but not all of it. But at the time, it was all over the place. And so holding on to that idea of watermelon dresses was just something silly and goofy, but it was still it meant a lot to me to be able to kind of latch onto that. So that a time that was tumultuous in who I was and what I was doing had not just something that like I still liked, like I still have the same interests or whatever that I did before, more or less. Um, but that would help me as a woman going forward, like something I could take from them that I could apply to myself specifically in a feminine way. And so it ended up meaning a lot to me. Um, so anyway, so the very first skirt I ever bought, after I figured out that I was a woman, like 2 days afterwards, I had no feminine clothes. I had nothing. I just like had barely, my trans egg had just cracked, as they say. And I went to the local thrift shop, and I was like, kind of like, sneaking over to the women's section. And I was so scared that somebody would see me over there and just like somehow harass me, or just anxiety, fears. Who knows if any of them were genuine? Probably not. Nobody cares. But I was just so worried that they'd see a guy over in the women's section and somebody would point to me and be like, J'accuse! I don't know. But anyway, so I wanted to buy some skirts because I figured that would be a piece of clothing I could wear that feels feminine, but it's also like easy to wear and you don't have to have the right body shape necessarily. And I wasn't going to wear it out and about. It was just like something that I wanted to have. And the very first one I saw might have been the second, because I think the first one I bought was like this jean skirt that was way too big, and I've never worn it because it's just huge. But the second one I saw was this cute little number from LuLaRoe. That it was red-ish, kind of reddish pink, magenta, I guess. I don't know. You'll see it in a second because I'm wearing it now. In fact, let me just show you. You won't be able to hear. This is what it was. A watermelon skirt. The very first thing I bought. That was a feminine thing. And so tonight we had our company party. We have one every year that celebrates the shows that we did from the previous year. And even though this woman hasn't worked there in a few years, and she obviously wasn't there, some of our mutual friends were. And so I kind of went all out on the watermelon motif. I got the earrings, I got this necklace, I had to buy this top, which, by the way, I don't know what it is with the white balancing of these cameras. This looks very teal on this webcam, but it's very green. Like, I don't know why it keeps cooling the temperature down. So I think maybe the lights in here are just too yellow, so white balance is weird. Anyway, this is very green. You can't tell because the camera is white balancing it, stupid. Maybe I'll fix it in post. So, zap. Now it's green. Hopefully, if I did that right. I don't know if I did. And probably the rest of this is now like really yellow, so I apologize. The point is this. I finally got to fulfill that piece of my transition that was kind of symbolic this whole time of somebody who saw me years ago and for some random reason just was obsessed with putting me in a watermelon dress, and I was just like, and now I get to wear one, and it's not only like acceptable, I guess, but like I really like how I look in this. Like, here, you can look at it again without. I was wearing nylons too, but I took them off when I got home. But like, I mean, I don't really look like fancy dressy. It's more like this is like a goofy outfit that a substitute teacher would wear. This gives off kind of Miss Frizzle vibes, I think. Honestly, or like, something fun like that. It's fun outfit. It's good for spring, and it's almost spring. It's like the end of February. But the point is this. I really like how I look in this. Not just because I think I look pretty good, but because of what it means. It's a part of my transition that now that I'm finally able to do this, it's like a connection to who I was and who I am now that I was finally able to fulfill. And for me, I think that's a beautiful thing. So anyway, also I just kind of wanted to record something since I think I look pretty on point. Like, this is the first time I've worn this hair too, and I kind of like the straightness. It doesn't quite blend very well, but it's fine. It really is. So anyway, I just wanted to share my watermelon journey. Y'all are awesome. Thank you.